President Moon Jae-in returned home Sunday after his three-day state visit to Russia. He and President Putin in Moscow signed MOUs on future projects that'll hopefully get North Korea involved in their regional economy in the future. President Moon also wrapped up his stay in Russia after cheering for the South Korean team in their World Cup match against Mexico. Our Hwang Ho-jun has a rundown.
Give peace to the Korean Peninsula and the Republic of Korea. That's what the South Korean president wrote in the guestbook of Moscow's Cathedral of Christ the Saviour, the tallest Orthodox Christian church in the world. Shortly afterward, President Moon flew down to Rostov-on-Don to watch the World Cup match between South Korea and Mexico. President Moon and First Lady Jung-sook wore red scarves to support Team South Korea, but that wasn't enough to save the Reds from their second loss of the tournament. Once the whistle blew on the 2-1 defeat, President Moon visited the team's locker room to encourage the players and coaches, some of whom had shed tears on the pitch. He praised the players for not giving up until the very last minute and said they still scored the best goal of the tournament. He asked them not to lose hope and continue to do their best until the end. South Korea is scheduled to face Germany to wrap up their Group F campaign on Wednesday. This was the first time in 16 years that a sitting South Korean president attended a World Cup match, the last time being when Korea hosted the tournament. It was also the first time for a president to watch the national football team play overseas. After the first half, President Moon was able to have a short talk with FIFA President Gianni Infantino. It was just about a year ago when the two met in Seoul. The FIFA leader recollected their last conversation, in which President Moon proposed that the two Koreas, China and Japan, join forces to host the 2030 Football World Cup. While he thought the idea was far-fetched at the time, Infantino said it's becoming more and more realistic with so many things happening between Seoul and Pyongyang. He said now is the time to prepare for such a dream to come true and promised to visit Seoul again in the near future. Hwang Ho-jun, Arirang News.